Europe is an incredible continent to visit, with some of the best food, best culture, and best hospitality that you are going to find anywhere in the world. It's one of the top travel destinations for Americans, with more than 18 million of you guys visiting in the last year. A recent study by IMG showed that the top countries that Americans plan to visit next year include France, Italy, and Portugal, citing these countries only behind Canada and Mexico. These tourists are expected to spend as much as $1 trillion in 2021. But here's the thing, over 90% of those tourists said that they'd be staying in hotels for the majority of their trip, with the second choice on that list being staying with friends and family. Camping or RV hire didn't even appear on the list. This feels strange to me. It's not like Americans are unfamiliar with the idea of taking an RV trip or a holiday, but when it comes to travel in Europe, it just seems that RV travel isn't on the cards for most travellers. While Europe's cities are stunning and of course well worth a visit, there is just so much more to see of the continent that you just don't get if you're travelling city to city, particularly if you're travelling by plane. Europe has some of the most unspoiled and untouched landscapes in any of the Western world. From the tip of Scotland to Turkey and beyond, there are millions of miles of roads, paved and unpaved, for you to be exploring. You could spend a lifetime trying to see it all. In this video, I'm going to show you 5 of my favourite countries that are fully accessible from the European continent. You can travel these overlanding with your own vehicle or with an organised tour. These safe destinations are just waiting for you to begin a road trip of a lifetime, be that for experienced overlanders or those who just want to take a casual road trip around the country. Number 1, Albania. Now I'm giving Albania an adventure rating of 4. This is pretty exciting stuff. Located in the southeastern corner of Europe, Albania has one of the most stunning coastlines. Its proximity to the crystal clear waters of the Aegean and the Ionian Sea make Albania stand out amongst many of its counterparts. Albania makes a great destination for those looking for untouched, unspoilt landscapes and warm, welcoming local people. When visiting, we discovered some of the most incredible off-road routes that we have seen anywhere in the world, be it crossing the Albanian Alps on technical, winding tracks, or heading north to the beautiful Komani Lake and the scenic tarmac passes along the lakeside. Albania is steeped in history, from the famous leader Skanderbeg to the Ottoman and later Axis occupation. There is something to learn about for anyone who has even the slightest interest in the country's history. Wild camping is also legal in Albania, and we found countless natural spots to set up our tent, waking to nothing but the sound of nature and some of the most beautiful views in all of the continent. If you prefer more facilities, then there are also ample guest houses and serviced campsites that you can use for a small fee. Despite all of this, Albania is one of the most affordable countries to visit in the entire region, with vehicle rental available for a low cost and food and drink cost much less than you would think. For example, you can enjoy a delicious home-cooked evening meal and a couple of beers for less than $10. Iceland, adventure rating 5. If you're looking for an unforgettable overland trip, then Iceland is definitely the destination for you. With a population of just 370,000, but a landmass the size of Pennsylvania, Iceland gives you the opportunity to really get away from the civilized world. Be it with your own vehicle or part of an organised tour, you can head into Iceland's volcanic interior, driving up high amongst the lava and the burning hot geysers, fording deep glacial rivers before heading down to the Atlantic coastline for whale watching under the shadow of the world's 3rd largest glacier. Following gravel tracks only available in the summer, you will need a well-prepared vehicle and may be faced with a serious survival situation should the weather turn unexpectedly. Don't worry though, Iceland is well serviced by a team of emergency response professionals, and as always, only travel without a guide if you have the experience and equipment to do so. Now, Iceland isn't the cheapest option on the list. With wild camping effectively banned, you should budget $100 a night for camping or $300 a night if you require a hotel. That being said, for a once-in-a-lifetime overland experience, this is the place to go. If you're bringing your own vehicle from the mainland, then you can take the overnight ferry from Hirtshals in Denmark, taking a stopover on the Faroe Islands. Portugal, adventure rating 3. Portugal is famous for its Algarve coastline, unbeatable food and drink, and countless hours of bright sunshine. That being said, the vast majority of visitors to Portugal forget that there is much more to the country than just that. The northern part of Portugal has miles of off-road tracks. When travelling here, we were taken aback by how quickly the landscape changes, starting out at the Spanish border with open meadows and beautiful spring flowers before slowly becoming more tropical as you head to the south. It's one of the only places in Europe that you'll truly feel you've found the rainforest, sometimes with the weather and wildlife to match. Portugal has some technical off-road sections, although the vast majority of the country is flat with little or no mountainous terrain. If you're looking for an introduction into overlanding in Europe, then Portugal is a great place to start. If you have the time, then you can head across the border into Spain for some more technical driving experiences. Wild camping is unfortunately no longer permitted in Portugal, although you'll find numerous homestays and farms willing to let you camp on their land for a small fee. It's a great idea to travel the country north to south, ending at the beautiful Atlantic coast with its well-serviced travel links for your journey home. Number 4. Bosnia and Herzegovina. Adventure Rating 4. Bosnia and Herzegovina is a true gem of Europe. A safe and welcoming country to visit, much of it is untouched by development, and particularly in the east, there are acres and acres of untouched forest tracts to explore. Local people welcome you like family, particularly when travelling in more rural areas, and invite you to learn about their fascinating history. Cities like Mostar and Sarajevo are also relatively easy to visit by car and represent gems of Balkan culture. It is safe to travel all around the country, and you mustn't miss highlights such as the mountain village of Ljubomin, once named by the National Geographic as the most remote village in Europe. Furthermore, there are a number of incredible waterfalls across the country, and they'll likely be unlike anything that you've seen anywhere else in the world. Prices in Bosnia are relatively cheap, and key attractions such as the falls won't cost you more than $5 to get in. A beer or glass of local wine will not likely cost you more than $2 at a bar or restaurant. Wild camping is also legal, and you can use apps such as Park 4 Night to help you find beautiful spots to pitch up all over the country. Morocco. Adventure Rating 4. Okay, so Morocco isn't technically on the European continent, but is very easily accessed from it. You can do this by taking the short ferry from Spain across to the northern tip of Morocco. Morocco is the frontier to Africa, and you'll begin to experience a true North African culture unlike one you will have experienced elsewhere. Morocco is an overlander's dream, with varied terrain to explore in your vehicle. If you're prepared for it, there's also an opportunity to head off into the dust and sand of the Sahara Desert, testing your overlanding skills to the limit. Starting in the north, you can follow the highway south and explore the great cities of Fez and Casablanca, both easily accessible in your own vehicle. If that isn't enough for you, then it's only a short drive to Algeria, where you can take on a true Saharan expedition over 5, 10, 15 or more days. So that's our top 5. Please, if you have any questions or comments, then please don't hesitate to leave them down below. Also, subscribe to our channel to help us along and follow our journey. Thank you for watching, and see you next time.